You mentioned in Spanish that the truck driver took steps to hide.
Sure, sure. So after the crash, he fled the scene of the accident. And so we were able to track it. He ran away more than 4 miles. And it wasn't until the Border Patrol helicopter found him hiding next to a fence. So he was trying to hide after the fact that he had killed 2 people and injured 3 others.
And I think another important thing is that tragically, while he was running away, Desi, she was laying there in that vehicle dying. He could have helped, but instead he chose to leave the scene. And we find that this verdict sends a strong message that the people of New Mexico and the people of Texas are not going to stand for corporations allowing their son, who was driving a company vehicle, to injure people without taking responsibility. And the corporation has to take responsibility for that action as well. And that's what I think that this verdict, that's the message it sends.
Disculpe, abogado, lo que dijo la abogada es muy importante. El sujeto que le hizo esto a la señora, ¿era el hijo de la compañía?
El hijo del presidente de la compañía. Así que la cosa, como dice Lainey, este veredicto es un mensaje también para las empresas, ¿verdad? De que tienen que tomar mejor precaución y no dejar a sus empleados usar vehículos de la compañía y andar tomados y causar accidentes. Esa es la cosa, porque también las compañías son responsables. En este caso, la compañía es responsable por esa razón. Y con las cosas, otra vez, como digo, el veredicto fue tan grande porque trataron de esconder eso, trataron de decir que no era un vehículo de la compañía, sino era un vehículo personal. Y la evidencia salió al contrario, que era un vehículo de la compañía.
Would you mind repeating that in English?
Oh, that it was a company vehicle. They try to hide, they try to make it a personal vehicle or the vehicle of a smaller company, but it wasn't. It was a vehicle of a big company, and so that's why the verdict came out as it did, because they were trying to hide that fact. Okay? ¿Algo más?
Anything else from the family? That I know you said it in Spanish, but if you wouldn't mind, it's very important to put this out also in English about the dangers of drunk driving. And you mentioned the problem that we have here in the region.
I think, it's not difficult to call an Uber, to ride with a friend. It's a growing problem in El Paso. I mean, I've had to unfollow, not look at my phone and, avoid social media because every single day you see somebody losing their life because they refuse to be responsible. This is somebody's life you're taking, a family you're destroying. It's so difficult to see when other parents, are going through a grief journey just like we have. Other siblings, watching my daughters grieve their sister is the hardest thing so far. Please stop putting other families through this grief and this pain. There has to be change. I think, the sheriff's office has started a great task force, to prevent these accidents, and they've done a fantastic job so far. But there has to be more. The community has to be held responsible for their own actions as well.
I do want to say too that Desi wanted to be an immigration attorney. She wanted to speak for people that didn't have a voice. And Joey Marrero, he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and go into the military. And these are 2 lives that not only were just taken from their families and their friends, but the whole community. They were taken from this community here in El Paso, of a future immigration attorney, a future soldier, and those people, we no longer have the benefit of seeing where they were going to go in the future. And that's just tragic. And that's what this verdict shows, is that we're not going to stand for corporations taking the lives of people that were gonna be an asset to our community.
The opportunity for you to speak if you want to say anything.
I have 3 sisters, and there's no worse feeling than having my sisters in a room, knowing that one's missing. Every single second that we're together, we wait for her to walk in. That sweet smile, the love that she had for us was irreplaceable. Nothing could ever Our lives are different for forever. And losing a sibling isn't something that you would ever imagine going through. I've lost close friends to drunk driving, and it's horrible knowing that other families are feeling what we're feeling. And I miss my sister more than anything.
Muy triste, ¿no, señora Velasco?
Sí, es muy
El
difícil.
dolor.
Es muy difícil.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.